Cody Depwig, Mason Welsh, Balaam Blockberger, and Miles Potcutter are the. So we got quarterback, we got the two inside backers, and we got the rover and wideout.
All right, Coach, can we have you make a general comment about the game, and then we'll open it up to questions?
Yeah. So thanks for having us in here, and obviously a surprise way we won today. We were really concerned about their physical stoutness, but we played a Clinton Massey, very similar style. We played pretty well, but we have a phrase called TED: toughness, effort, and discipline helps you win these games. Now they have a lot of that too, very similar to us, but we just felt like, or I do feel like now that those three things, toughness, effort, and discipline, carried us. And these that's why I brought these four in here, because they got it.
Early in the game, there's that interception that they almost had. Talk about how you guys played off that scoring early. You took the momentum right away from that game. Talk about how crucial that moment was.
They had a rough in that punter also. That was kind of a swing play that also kept the drive going. I guess the stop on the fourth down on their first drive is really what at least gives you a good break, because if they get ahead on you, it's like, oh crap, here we go, and the clock gets ticking and they're running the ball, and fortunately we got the first touchdown and got the lead, and makes you take a deep breath and say, all right, come on, we can do this.
Coach, talk about your quarterback, Balin. Speaking of that drive to take the lead, Balin rolled right and found a receiver for a 56-yard gain, which really helped set you guys up for the score. And then, Miles, you had the fourth down TD. So just talk about his play and just talk about the connections that Balin made with Mason. They connected for a couple scores.
Yeah, so Bay has been doing it all year. He's a two-year starter, and Dad's a coach, Grandpa's a coach. He's our basketball point guard. He's our shortstop in baseball. He just knows how to play, and he's not afraid to throw it to several different guys or hand it off, and we call it spread the wealth. And so all year long, 3-4, and he's running the ball too. So 3-4 guys that can run it, and 3 or 4 guys that can catch it, and he's not afraid to throw it to different guys. So he counts on those guys to make those plays when they get a chance, and they did that today.
Cody, being in the trenches, talk about trying to make adjustments to keep their running game in check.
I think we just got to be physical every play. We were physical every play and not taking a single play off, playing low. That was our main motto for this week, is playing low, getting off blocks, and then on offense, running your feet and playing low.
Coach, Keenan full-time start counting press. There was a touching moment at the end where you appeared to congratulate and weep in the arms of one of your assistants. Somewhere the late John Reed would be very, very proud. How has his legacy passed on to you? How do you keep his legacy alive in a moment like this today?
Yeah, that's a great question. John got the program started and a very focused. Lots of things. One of his favorite sayings was, "If you really want to be successful, help somebody else be successful," and that's what these guys have done for themselves. And, all of our coaches except one played for John. Obviously I didn't play for him because we're fairly close in age, but those other guys all grew up in high school with those types of attitudes, so John's still there with us. We have a big rock when we come out of our locker room. A big, I don't know how heavy that rock is. That has the John Reed kind of our memorial to him, and so he even though these guys weren't even born yet, barely born when John was finishing up his career. I guess they were little guys. He's still with us. Kind of like Kale, still with us today.
Start with Miles and go through seniors. This season, just an emotional coaster with Kale's passing and, you being not just teammates but classmates. talk about, what you guys did, to just kind of keep him. I mean, obviously the flag, visited the grave yesterday. Just talk about keeping him in the thoughts throughout the season and coming through with the championship, in an emotional day-to-day.
Our nickname for him is Lois, so that's kind of a big break we get when huddle. We say that name. We have captains meetings, which is like a big meeting with the whole team on Thursday nights, and Kale's always talked about in that, and just kind of keep good spirits with him. Sometimes we'll have meetings just directed towards memories of Kale, and it just kind of like gives you an extra push. I know our freshman year we were here, and I watched 15 seniors cry to each other, and that kind of gives you a push to do it. And then with Kale, just drove us to do it. So.
I would say one thing is just being so tight. We're all so tight. We were tight with Kale, so being able to express our emotions to each other is just big to be able to get through it. And you just always have people to lean on in the football community and just our friends in general, so it just made it easier for us.
We also got a box in our locker room that we can always write letters to him, and if we're ever feeling like we need to. And then Coach always says, play with the 12th man. He's always on your shoulder, and we know he's always there with us and helping us out.
I think the thing for me is our run game. We went under center this year. Kale was a big part of that. He was the one that kept on pushing the coaches for under center, and helped us win the state championship. So he's always in our thoughts.
Chip, the end of the game, a real tribute. You call him the 12th man, but then you went out, started with just 4 linemen and then called timeout. Then you finished the game with a 10, one man with a 10. Let's talk about that tribute to, doing that, having a chance to do that, show how much he's meant to you.
Oh, I'm not sure exactly what you mean.
I think you finished with 10 guys. Chip.
that was an accident.
Yeah. Oh, that was an accident?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought that was some wonderful.
No.
It turns out it was a kind of a.
Well, I'm glad you read
wonderful
into
showing.
it. We got the milk that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know
Oh,
that.
okay.
You want to change your answer?
Rewind, right?
Chip, can you talk about Miles, the game he had as a running back today? 23 carries, 120 yards, and just really beating the hot hand today.
Yeah, that's awesome. We had used our sophomore running back to give these 2 guys breaks, but in today's magnitude and game, once they got going, but Miles has done that all year, and really, like I said, we talk about the spread of wealth, and so Miles has, I don't know, he ended up close to 1,000 maybe, and then Cody down there is kind of the power guy, and once you get it going, he's willing to come on. I'm all right. Just keep giving it to me, and obviously the O-line did a great job, and Miles is just one of the toughest undersized guys that we've had, and we've had some tough kids, and I don't know, what do you weigh now, Miles? Are you even 160 anymore?
160, yeah.
160ish, and sometimes he'll hit some. I'm like, how do you do that with that body? But keeps doing it, the game after game after game, and real proud of him in the way he plays. Yes, sir.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
The stats are surprising. They're so close. Kirtland outrushed you guys on average about 5.3 yards. You guys were more like 4.6. It looks like you had those red zone chances. What do you attribute to the victory to, with the stats being so close?
Yeah, I guess probably getting stops or making those big plays. Like on the first long pass was really a broken play that made scramble. All of a sudden you hit a 55-yarder, and then the first drive, when we got a stop on that 4th down was just so huge to I guess I would have to look closely how many times we stopped them on 4th down. There had to be, I don't know, that has that close three 4th down stops.
Yeah.
And gosh, those are such huge momentum breakers, and a couple of those were at close to midfield, so all of a sudden your field position's great, And, yeah, so I guess I didn't notice I guess now I know the stats were close. But, it's when those when you can make those big plays or stops, that get you those scores, I guess.
Balin, for you guys in the huddle, what felt like the big momentum booster for you guys? Was it maybe that second touchdown drive where you guys took advantage of some of their miscues? Or was it
I would say just the first drive, just going down the field and scoring right away, just gave us confidence, like, okay, we can do this, we can go score on them whenever we want, anyway. So just being able to run the ball, our O-lineman did great, run the ball opens up the passing game, so it was just all around flow, the offense flowed well, and that's why we scored so much.
Okay, any more questions?
Just a quick question about Kirtland and preparing for Kirtland. One of the things I'm watching Kirtland is, and maybe you could attribute this to their quarterback getting hurt and having the problem, with his left arm, but they hardly passed the ball at all in the playoffs. Knowing that you probably weren't going to see a lot of passing and their passing game not clicking on all cylinders, how did that influence your defensive approach to stopping Kirtland?
Yeah, obviously, we've seen him for years have that style. We played Clinton Massey this year, who was a very similar style, and we played great in that game. And we have this phrase that Coach Hoyne, who's one of our retired coaches who was a D coordinator, and he would touch that nose and say, fellas, you're gonna have to get your nose bloody today if we're gonna win this game. Keep your pads down, and over and over. And Joe Hewer, one of our assistants, talked about, fellas, defense, you got 50 more plays the rest of your career, or for the seniors, I guess. And you got 50 plays to look yourself and say, come on, keep your pads down, get in those gaps, and get your nose bloodied, and we can win this thing.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
For you, what do you want your players, aside from walking away with the state championship, of course, what do you want your players to walk away with out of that football program?
That's a good question, and so we have what Miles mentioned at a captain's meeting, and so last night's captain's meeting was all about the seniors, and so we asked them to, what's a learning lesson maybe that you had from the program, and a learning lesson, advice to the younger kids, a thank you to someone specifically, and every time we finish our prayer after the game, it's help us become better young men and better adult men for that matter. And so as they grow, hopefully, we tend to, as coaches, our coaches, get to know these guys so well, and we'll see them down the road, and hopefully they feel like the program helped them become better young men.
To any seniors, what do you guys think?
I think this whole football program is absolutely amazing. I mean, I don't know about other teams, and I know the whole MAC area is awesome, but I don't think we could have a better group of coaches that allow us to have fun every single day, but also take it as serious as they do every single day, and it's just an absolute blast. And I think every single senior that is going through here says they miss it.
I'll second that. I think that all the coaches, they teach a lot more than football. Coach O specifically, he always talks about stuff outside the game and stuff that you can take to your life afterwards, so he's a great guy for that.
Grandpa talks, right? Miles always talks about my grandpa talks at the end.
I'll say, like, dealing with hardships and getting through adversity. We always talk about adversity and how do you bounce back and how do you move forward in tough situations. And kind of just like in life, you got to work for your thing. Nothing's handed to you. You got to work hard. You got to be tough, resilient. You got to go get it because it's not going to come to you. You got to go work your ass off and do it. So.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
it was several years ago that your Coldwater teams faced Canton Central Catholic in two championship games. Central had the #1 offense, but you had the #1 defense. And on those games, you won. What is it about having the #1 defense that ends up in Coldwater's advantage?
Yeah, it seems like defenses can be, when you have a really good one, can be more consistent. Sometimes the offenses get in those ups and downs, but But when you got that solid defense, especially up front, and the linebacker cores that you can be more consistent and keep you in those games, and you can really count on those guys. And Mark Bruns, our D coordinator, and Dan Kenny are kind of like the schematic guys, and they come up with all kinds of stuff. I know a little bit about it, but sometimes like, what is that called? And they're like, well, we felt like this would do it, and we're not an overly big team, so a lot of it's quickness and making the O-line think and like, where are these guys coming from? So all that kind of stuff. And then having fun. We have a phrase called fast, loose, and focus. We want them playing and having fun and enjoying it.
Coach, this young fella talked about adversity and how you handle it. After that loss to Marion Local, what was the psyche and everything after that? Did that lack you?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were concerned, right? It's the 10th game of the year, and Tim and I have talked about that when we keep playing the 10th game of the year over the years. Like, it kind of sucks when one of us is going to go into the playoffs with a loss. But as you can tell, listening to these four guys, that this is an extremely mature group of seniors, really mature young guys. I know I wasn't even close to being as mature as they are when I was their age, and they regrouped, and our staff, I think we all help each other. Like, hey, come on, fellas, we can still go win this thing, and so that was obviously a tough loss for us to Marion, but and I kind of try to remind them. I know the NFL's different, but I said, fellas, how many undefeated NFL teams have there been? And they all know it's coming. Well, there's only been one, and it was, 50, 60, however long ago was it? 72. And so like I said, their maturity says, okay, come on, let's regroup, and let's see if we can make a good run and win, I guess, 6 in a row. And we did it.
All right, we're going to let these guys go. Congratulations, and thank you.